The kingdom had never been happier. The shadow dragon had been defeated. The citizens were safe. The markets were busy once again. And everywhere Clown Cat went, people cheered his name. The king watched all of this from his palace balcony. Then suddenly, he had an idea. A very important idea. A royal idea. He would host a grand dinner in honor of Clown Cat. Not a festival. Not a parade. Not a ceremony. A proper royal dinner. The finest meal the kingdom had ever seen. The king smiled proudly. Surely nothing could go wrong. The palace immediately sprang into action. Royal chefs prepared mountains of food. Servants polished golden plates. Musicians practiced elegant songs. Decorations filled every hall. The king personally inspected everything. Every chair, every table, every spoon. Everything had to be perfect. After all, this dinner was for Clown Cat, the hero of the kingdom. As evening approached, Clown Cat arrived at the palace. He wore his usual smile. His master accompanied him. The king greeted them warmly. The royal guards bowed. The musicians played. Everything appeared elegant. Everything appeared organized. For approximately 3 minutes, because unknown to the king, Clown Cat had accidentally been followed. Again, the monkeys arrived first, then the goats, then the parrots, then the donkey, then the giant elephant. Nobody knew how they entered the palace. Nobody knew who opened the gates. But somehow, the entire animal parade from the kingdom had arrived for dinner. The king's smile slowly disappeared. The king attempted to remain calm. After all, perhaps the animals would behave. Perhaps everything would still be fine. Perhaps. He was wrong. Very wrong. The moment food appeared, chaos erupted. Monkeys grabbed fruit from silver trays. Goats climbed onto tables and began eating decorations. Parrots stole pastries and flew around the dining hall. The donkey somehow found the dessert table and refused to leave. Determined to restore order, the king stood up. He raised his royal cup. He cleared his throat and began his speech. "My dear citizens." But before he could continue, a parrot landed on his shoulder. Then another. Then another. The parrots began repeating every word he said. "My dear citizens. My dear citizens. My dear citizens." The dining hall erupted with laughter. The king tried again. The parrots copied him again. Eventually, even the king started laughing. Then came the elephant. The same elephant that had once danced in the kingdom fountain. Without warning, it climbed onto the palace stage. Nobody knew how. Nobody knew why. But somehow, the elephant began dancing. The musicians joined in. The monkeys became backup dancers. The goats spun in circles. And within minutes, the royal dinner had transformed into a carnival. Again, meanwhile, far away in the land of old magic, the warrior continued listening to Lormagic. The warrior shared everything he had learned. The celebrations, the dragon's defeat, the growing popularity of Clown Cat. Lormagic listened carefully, then spoke. The closer others grow to Clown Cat, the more difficult it will become to manipulate him. The warrior nodded, for slowly, he was beginning to understand. Clown Cat's greatest strength was not his magic. It was the people who genuinely cared about him. Elsewhere, the sorcerers were becoming increasingly frustrated. Every plan had failed. Every trap had failed. Every attack had failed. And now, Clown Cat's popularity continued growing. The more people loved him, the harder it became to reach him. One sorcerer slammed his fist onto a table. Another destroyed a magical crystal. A third suggested something dangerous. Something bold. Something that immediately captured everyone's attention. Back at the palace, the king prepared the final surprise. A gigantic celebration cake. The largest cake ever baked in the kingdom. The guests applauded. The musicians played. The king proudly approached the cake. Then, a monkey appeared. Nobody saw where it came from. Nobody saw it jump. But suddenly, the monkey landed directly on top of the cake. The entire cake collapsed. Cream exploded everywhere. The king was covered. The guard were covered. The musicians were covered. Even Clown Cat was covered. For 1 second, the dining hall was silent. Then Clown Cat laughed. Then everyone laughed. Even the king. As the night finally came to an end, the king looked around the dining hall. The decorations were ruined. The tables were a mess. The The cake was gone. The animals were sleeping under chairs. And somehow, it had been a most enjoyable royal dinner of his life. The king smiled. Perhaps perfection wasn't necessary after all. Perhaps happiness mattered more. And nobody understood happiness better than Clown Cat. But beyond the kingdom, a new plan was already taking shape. The sorcerers had finally decided on a different approach. If force could not reach Clown Cat, perhaps friendship could. And somewhere in the darkness, several disguised sorcerers began preparing for a journey. A journey toward the kingdom. A journey toward Clown Cat. A journey that could change everything. The kingdom laughs tonight. The king celebrates. Clown Cat enjoys another victory. But hidden behind friendly smiles, new dangers are approaching. And this time, they may not arrive as enemies.
You cannot escape the shadows. I am coming for you.